Wrestling with Siblings. I'm your host, Araceli, and this is my co-host, Armando.
Hi guys, I'm Armando, and welcome to Wrestling with Siblings.
Alright, let's get started with none other than Triple H, who opens up the show. Very odd, because you don't really see him come out and open up the show, but before he can even say anything, none other than the Beast Slayer, the Universal Champion Seth Rollins, comes out, and he says that for 2 weeks... 2 weeks ago, he slayed the Beast, and he finally was able to bring the Universal Championship back home. And keep in mind, they are in Iowa, so that hits close to home for him.
Yeah, his home state, and then other than that, like you said, Triple H, usually when he comes out, first thing when he opens up the show is because he's got some major announcement, something to say. So I kind of expected that, but I didn't know what the announcement was.
Yes, but he makes the announcement towards the end, but before we get into the announcement, Triple H gives props to Seth Rollins. He's like, you walked in to WrestleMania as the King Slayer, and you walked out as the certified Beast Slayer. So coming from Triple H, that means a lot.
Yeah, and obviously we know the history between Triple H and Seth Rollins down in NXT and also in the main roster. So you know when they're in the ring, there's something special is going to happen.
And he did mention that the landscape of WWE has changed, not only of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT, but he did say the landscape changed because of the Superstar shakeup that happened last week. There is new competition, there is new people that are now going to be targeting Seth Rollins because he is the Universal Champion.
Not only that, but that also comes with being the champion. When you're the champ, you pretty much have a target on your back like everybody else likes to state, and it is true.
Yeah, so Samoa Joe comes out and he's like, you guys seem to forget, and he goes on to say he is ready for Seth Rollins and that he is going to become the next Universal Champion. Do you blame him? No. The guy barely even got a championship, a month ago?
Yeah.
So, I don't blame him for already thinking and already wanting to be at the next level.
Well, yeah, this is a motivated Samoa Joe, as we've seen ever since he became U.S. champion. It's just he just has been on a roll. Yeah, he had a couple slumps before WrestleMania. He did lose a couple matches, but I think he wasn't like fully concentrated. Now, this is a fully focused Samoa Joe, and he's just dangerous. And he stated that he's coming for the title. Definitely.
And none other than Rey Mysterio, again, another person that was part of the Superstar shakeup. He comes out and he says he also wants an opportunity. He's Rey Mysterio, you know, he's very, very dangerous, and we're going to see this later on throughout the night. But he's a dangerous competitor, he's smart, he's a veteran, and he has extreme speed.
And then another one of my favorites that I've liked, and it's pretty much, I had one hell of a year, Drew McIntyre. He also decides and comes out to challenge Seth Rollins.
And he makes a very important point because he's like, I've been here for a year and I've had 0 championship opportunities since I've been here. So he makes a point. I completely understand that, and I feel like he is at that level. We've said it before. He is championship material. He has everything he needs to be a champion. He is the full package.
Yeah, he is. And I feel he's kind of a little bit jealous of Seth Rollins just because he did mention that he is champion because McIntyre didn't get fast enough to Brock Lesnar, and I have to agree with him on that point. I feel that if McIntyre would have faced Brock Lesnar first, other than Seth Rollins, he would have been the champion.
Keep in mind, originally that was the match I wanted for WrestleMania, simply because I thought there was none other than Drew McIntyre, who is a powerhouse, who carries himself a lot like Brock Lesnar, that could have defeated him. But it ended up being that they chose Seth Rollins.
And also McIntyre had already hit this huge build-up as like unstoppable that he wasn't able to get beat. So that played a huge factor.
Yeah. And then The Miz ends up coming out, and also, again, he wants another opportunity at the Universal Championship. I mean, the last time he held the championship was, WrestleMania 29? 28, something like that. It was the last time they were in New York City. So correct me if I'm wrong. And then Baron Corbin also comes out and he's like, well, I was the one that beat a Hall of Famer, and not only a Hall of Famer, but an Olympic gold medalist in his retirement match. I deserve the opportunity.
And that one didn't surprise me because Baron Corbin likes to pretty much stick his nose in everybody's business.
He inserts himself everywhere.
Yeah, and not only that, but he's also trying to take advantage of an opportunity. He saw something and he capitalized. So that one didn't surprise me that he wants to be in the title picture.
And of course, this one can't surprise you either because none other than AJ Styles decided he also wanted an opportunity at the championship, and he made it perfectly clear. He said, I will win my triple threat, and I will beat whoever the winner of the other triple threat is to cash in my ticket to Money in the Bank to face Seth Rollins.
Something very interesting. Mainly, it was a lot of the former SmackDown roster that challenged Seth Rollins. There was only two Raw superstars before the shakeup, which was Baron Corbin and Drew McIntyre.
Well, that makes a lot of sense simply because new competition, and Triple H said it at the beginning of his segment. He was like, there's new competition and you have a new target pretty much on your back. And Seth Rollins said, you know what, I am ready. It doesn't matter who I'm facing. I am 100% ready for my next opponent. So therefore, Rey Mysterio versus Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles is the very first match of the night. I personally think this was the show stealer. I think this was the match of the night. So much talent in this match. Wow. I have to give it to one person though, and one person only. The star of this match was Rey Mysterio. He completely stole it, for sure.
Definitely this was one of my favorite matches too, but I also enjoyed the Cesaro match, which we'll get into later.
Yes, definitely. This was my favorite match, though, and come on, Rey Mysterio, it doesn't matter who you put him up against, he will deliver. Look at the people he was going up against. He was going against guys twice his size, Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, and he was able to take down both opponents. He didn't end up winning, but he was able to give them a fight. He proved that he can hang with them, and he proved he is one of the top stars in this business.
And just not only that, but look at the size of Samoa Joe and the way he moves in the ring. It's just super amazing, and he proved it in this match. And like you said, going back on Mysterio was just super impressive. He pretty much did most of the work, and he was this close to winning if it wasn't for AJ Styles capitalizing towards the end.
Yes.
And taking advantage, I think, of one mistake.
And, I mean, Joe, as he said, he pretty much said everything when it comes to Samoa Joe. He's smart, he's athletic, and he knows exactly what he's doing. He is always a step ahead, and that's why he's champion. But I feel like they also realized, okay, it's going to get to a point where you have to take out a certain someone, you know? And Joe, I noticed, was kind of out, but whenever he was in this match, he was fantastic. He would deliver, and he would dominate the majority of the match. I mean, he was the only powerhouse in this entire match.
Yeah. And I gotta say, AJ Styles and Rey Mysterio really got lucky because Samoa Joe didn't get to fully connect the coquina clutch. If he would have locked it in, I think it would have been over like that.
Yeah, for sure. You already know, once he connects it, it's done. It's over.
And that was well scouted by Mysterio and AJ Styles, which we gotta give him some sort of credit on that.
Definitely, 100%. Alright. And AJ Styles, there's nothing much to say on AJ. You already know he's extremely talented. No matter who you put him up against, he will deliver, and he ended up being victorious. So therefore, now we just gotta wait to see who his opponent is going to be. Alright. Moving on to Naomi versus Billie Kay. Yeah. So, Naomi, for those of you that don't know, she made the jump from SmackDown to Raw last week on the Superstar Shakeup, and this time she's facing Billie Kay. Now, of course, Billie Kay has Peyton Royce on her corner. Naomi's partner is gone. Bayley was her new partner, and Bayley got shipped over to SmackDown. So, what happens now? We did see Naomi pretty much beat Billie in under 3 minutes, which is fine, but it's like, this is where the evolution happens. This is why we started the women's revolution.
Yeah, another thing too, keep in mind, this is Naomi's second win over Billie. Keep in mind that she won last week in the Superstar Shakeup.
Yeah, well,
she was able to get the pinfall.
That puts her first in line at a championship opportunity, and that's what I'm saying. She doesn't have a partner, so who would you partner her if you had to pick a partner for her?
With the member of anything, the Riot Squad, keep in mind they split up. either Ruby Riott or Sarah Logan. I kind of see her more with Ruby.
I think that's a great choice. I feel like Ruby Riott and Naomi could get along and do some amazing things.
Different personalities,
yeah.
But I think at the end, ring-wise, they would work.
But for that, you have to turn Ruby face. But I do agree. I feel like Ruby is the best fit. However, Natty, I see Natty. She's already face. You don't have to do a lot of the work. We already know Natty will team up with anybody. So.
And not only that, but Naomi and Natty, they always get along no matter what.
Exactly.
They're friends in the ring and outside the ring.
I feel like that's the perfect fit. So, I don't know. We'll see who her partner will be in the upcoming weeks. Moving on to the next match of the night, which is The Miz versus Drew McIntyre versus Baron Corbin.
So keep in mind the winner of this match was going to be the one that was going to face AJ Styles.
Yes.
The #1 contender.
Exactly. But I also have to give it to Miz on this one. I feel like he was the star of this match in particular. Not taking anything away from McIntyre, not taking anything from Baron Corbin, but I do feel like this is a new Miz. He reinvented himself, and I feel like the feud with Shane McMahon really helped him out because now he's more confident. He's still cocky, but he's that cocky confident that knows, okay, I can back up what I'm saying now. He knows where he's going and where he's headed, and he knows exactly how to get there. He's determined and motivated.
He knows his goal, and his goal is the WWE Universal Championship, or just become champion.
In general, yes. I feel like he no longer wants the U.S. Championship. He no longer wants the Intercontinental Championship. At this point, he's shooting for the stars, and that's his objective. That's his goal, and he's gonna get there eventually.
And he's hungry for gold because, especially like I said, winning like the WWE Universal Championship, because he hasn't been champion in a while, like you said. So I feel that it's time that he deserves it, and he feels the same way.
And McIntyre, he is, again, I already said it, he is a powerhouse, the full package, 100%.
In my opinion, out of these three, my favorite was Drew McIntyre, but he didn't end up winning.
Yeah, and now the actual and real winner of this match, Baron Corbin, again, Armando was telling me, and I gotta give him credit, he said Baron Corbin is the ultimate opportunist. Do not be surprised if Baron Corbin walks out of this match victorious. And that is exactly what happened. Baron Corbin outsmarted both The Miz and Drew McIntyre.
Because we were watching the match, and I was telling Araceli, I was like, I bet you anything Baron Corbin is going to capitalize on opportunity that he got, and sure enough, he did. McIntyre did the work. He Claymore kicked The Miz, right? And sure enough, Baron Corbin was outside the ring, steps in, throws McIntyre out of the ring, and 1, 2, 3. Capitalize on opportunity and takes the advantage of him.
Yeah, he takes full advantage of that, and I feel like what comes from that is him being the Raw general manager. That those few couple of months that he was general manager, he learned what every single competitor is capable. He analyzed every single wrestler in that roster, and he's like, okay, this is going to help me, and that was strategically his plan, and that is exactly what he's been doing over the last year. He has been analyzing and studying every man in that roster, and now he knows him, and he was able to capitalize on opportunities.
Another perfect example is, for a while during the match, you saw Drew McIntyre and Baron Corbin team up on The Miz, making it a 2-on-1 match at times. So that shows you where Baron Corbin is, how smart he is in the ring, and the alliances he makes.
Maybe that goes to show that The Miz was the biggest threat because, like I said, he was the one that was going after. He wasn't losing any time. He was like, I want this. This is what I want. And so The Miz knows how to get that. And I feel like McIntyre and Baron Corbin, who I guess you could consider the rookies compared to The Miz. If you compare them to The Miz, they're basically the rookies. This is where they were like, okay, if we can take out The Miz, we can make it a one-on-one, and this is where it becomes dangerous because, like you said, they've partnered together so many times, they know each other like the palm of their hands, and we already know what Drew McIntyre is capable of, and we also know what Baron Corbin is capable of. Just remember what Drew McIntyre did to Dolph Ziggler. He used them to his advantage, and I feel like that's what he was trying to do, use Baron Corbin, but Baron Corbin outsmarted him, turned it around, and was like, you know what, this is my opportunity, and he was able to come out victorious.
Yeah, and then this is a huge build of confidence for Baron Corbin, a lot of momentum to face AJ Styles.
Definitely, 100%. Like, you really have to give it to Baron Corbin. A lot of you guys do not like Baron Corbin. I don't like Baron Corbin, but I feel like inside of the ring, he is a genius. I feel like he has really, really developed his character and gotten it to the point where, like, hey, if you're getting major heat, you're doing something right.
Yeah, and keep in mind, like I said, Baron Corbin likes to stick his nose everywhere. Don't be surprised if he's one of the members of the Money in the Bank match. So just throwing it out there just because he's really sneaky and smart and knows how to work his way around.
Definitely, 100%. Alright, moving on to Sami Zayn. I'll keep it very, very short. Basically comes out and insults the crowd. He says everything is our fault, that he used to be very, very happy when he was on vacation. And then he came back and he suddenly started to feel depressed. And he says that he finally found out why the reason he's depressed is because it's of the WWE Universe and the way we act.
I gotta say, the vacation places that he visited and that he showed, like the pictures, pretty cool. Not bad. Hopefully one day we all get to go over there.
Yes, exactly. Hopefully the siblings get to make a trip over there. But then he pretty much ends it with him telling everybody, go to hell.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to go to that place.
I definitely don't want to go there as well, but hey, it's going to be interesting to see where this is going to go and who he's first going to feud with. I don't see anybody right now for Sami Zayn to feud with. I don't know. Do you have any ideas?
Not right now. I don't see him facing anybody. If anything, it'll probably be someone like Ricochet, if anything. I would like to see him just because they both have similar wrestling styles.
I see that one. Let us know in the comments below who you guys think Sami Zayn's first feud should be up against. Alright, moving on to the match that Armando really, really liked. Armando, I'll give you the honors of announcing this.
It was Cesaro versus Cedric Alexander. Keep in mind, Cesaro was transferred over to Raw. That means that the bar is pretty much officially split.
Yes.
And I'm excited for Cesaro because I haven't seen Cesaro in singles competition for since he partnered with Sheamus.
It's probably been about 2 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2 years, and before they partnered him with the Sheamus, he was one of my favorite wrestlers. I liked what he did and the way he performed in the ring. I think he's one of the, not technicals, but one of the best in the ring the way he performs.
Yes, and I feel like he's always been super underestimated, and I feel like he was underappreciated up until he was with Sheamus. Once he was put with Sheamus, he was just like, okay, we have confidence in this guy, we believe in this guy, and they gave him numbers and amounts of tag team titles. What, they're 5-time champs? 4-time champs?
I think they were like 5-time champs.
Yeah, so that alone just gives you an idea of how far Cesaro can come. And that was just with Sheamus. Imagine by himself, given the proper storyline and giving the proper time, I feel like he can do amazing. I think it's time to put a Universal Championship, if not the WWE Championship, on him. But given the fact that he's on Raw, we'll go with the Universal.
Yeah, even the US Championship I feel will be great in his career. It's time for him to prove himself even more in singles competition. And I mean, he did prove it today with the very impressive win over Cedric Alexander, doing I think it was the uppercut.
Yep.
As Cedric Alexander was doing his move up from the top rope.
Yeah, so Cedric Alexander, he was part of the 205 Live roster. Now he is part officially of the Raw roster, so a new addition to the Raw roster because of the Superstar shakeup. Interesting match. I do want to see more of Cedric. I don't follow 205 Live. I know he doesn't follow 205 Live, so this is the opportunity for the 205 guys to really prove themselves, to show, hey, you didn't watch us before, but now you guys are going to really get to know who we are, the characters, and what they have in store.
And I feel we didn't get to see a lot of Cedric Alexander as well, just because Cesaro did a very, very good job of shutting him down. Like, just his offensive.
From the very beginning, he immediately was like, I know what I have to do. Keep in mind, Cesaro hasn't been in singles competition for, like I said, over 2 years probably. I could be wrong. But that just goes to show the experience that he's learned. And I feel like him being partnered with Cesaro was one of the greatest decisions WWE could have potentially ever made. They made each other grow. in tremendous ways.
And I feel they both picked up from each other, like you said.
Yeah.
I think that really helped Cesaro out a lot too.
They learned and they grew, and now they're at this point. So now, new Cesaro, let's wait and see what they have in store for us.
Yeah, hopefully they take them and they build them the right way for a future title shot.
Alright, the Viking Experience, who now changed their name again to the Viking Raiders versus Lucha House Party. It was really pointless because this match was maybe two minutes long. It wasn't even a match because it didn't even start.
It didn't even start because the Viking Raiders pretty much attacked Lucha House Party in the match that was started.
Right before the match even started. So they took them out, and yet again they are sending a message to the Raw Tag Team Champions. We're here, we're ready to take over, and we are not going to stop until they get what they want.
I saw them at NXT TakeOver, and all I gotta say is this team is super impressive. The Raw Tag Team division with the tag teams that they have, it's pretty impressive, and this is one of the teams that you gotta keep an eye on.
They're extremely dangerous. Extremely
They're just
dangerous.
so athletic. I mean, the size of these guys, and they like to fly out of the top ropes, and it's just super amazing what they could do in the ring.
Exactly. So, moving forward, we're going to have to wait and see what they do, and I see them becoming champions from here till SummerSlam, potentially. That's how soon I see them, simply because of what they've done in the ring and what they can do in the ring. So, we'll wait and see if that ends up happening.
And we'll see how Kurt Hawkins and Zack Ryder step up in brand new Raw Tag Team division.
They'll for sure step up. They have some tough competition like the Viking Raiders. Sorry, I still want to call them the War Raiders because I think it was the coolest name. The Viking Raiders, they have the Usos as competition. They have the Revival still as competition. So they have a lot of competition. How are they going to retain? I don't know. But it's going to be very interesting to see, like you said, to see them step up to defend their championships. Alright, Becky Two Belts comes out, and she basically starts to cut a promo, and she says that Lacey Evans has been trying to build a career for herself while Becky Lynch is basically trying to maintain her legacy. So she basically called out Lacey Evans, plain blank simple.
Yeah, and Lacey Evans, being the tough woman that she is, she pretty much goes out and confronts Becky Lynch and pretty much squares up to her outside the ring.
Yeah, she tells her that at Money in the Bank, she will take both championships away from her. So that's very, very interesting because she's new. She just started and she's already going after the champ. And hey, there's no other way for you to prove what you got than going up against the best of the best, which is the champ right now, Becky Lynch.
Yeah, and just Lacey Evans, if any, I think she has what it takes to beat Becky Lynch. But we'll see at Money in the Bank.
Yes, alright, Becky Lynch versus Alicia Fox. We haven't seen Alicia in months, but she's finally back, and I'm glad about that because she's going to get some time. Versus Becky Lynch. Becky, again, as we know, Becky Two Belts has both championships, the Raw and the SmackDown Women's Championship. A new Becky. There's a whole new level of confidence. She's cocky now, and I feel like that comes from her being the first woman to beat Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania 35.
Yeah, I mean, when you beat a woman like Ronda Rousey, that pretty much automatically puts you as the baddest, one of the baddest women in the WWE.
And she dominated the majority of this match. She was hardly giving Alicia Fox any opportunities, and the opportunities that Alicia Fox did get, it seemed like she didn't really take advantage of, because if you go back and you look at matches that Alicia has had before, she can capitalize super, super quickly, and she can come out with the most athletic and creative moves. And this time, I didn't see any of that. I feel like Alicia was out of her game. She wasn't fully concentrated. She wasn't ready.
Yeah, I feel that not being in the ring for such a long period of time got to her in this match.
Yeah, 100%. But, hey, none other than Lacey Evans, again, being the tough woman that she is, comes out right after Becky Lynch was able to make Alicia Fox tap out. She comes out, and she just goes...
Yep, but that
right
woman's
on her
right.
face. Yep. And hey, to me, that right there is showing, hey, she's got what it takes. She's not scared of you. She is going to go into Money in the Bank as a fierce woman.
And keep in mind, I said this before, Lacey, she's pretty much picked a fight with two of the baddest women in the WWE right now. We saw it at the Royal Rumble how she squared up against Charlotte Flair. And Charlotte Flair is not just anybody. She's one of the biggest stars and probably the most gifted woman in the women's division. And now she's squaring up and picking a fight against the man, Becky Lynch. So she's not picking fights against just anybody.
Mm-mm. And this is how she's going to get her name. This is how people are going to start to care. I care. And she's only been on TV twice. And by twice, I mean actually physically talking, cutting a promo, and throwing hands.
Yeah.
2 weeks. And I'm invested.
Because keep in mind, she would come out and down the ramp and do
her dance. Her walk,
her
sorry.
lady-like walk and stuff like that. And turn around and then go back to backstage.
So she really wasn't doing much. And now she's finally talking. She's finally throwing hands. And I'm already invested. She's going to become one of my favorites for sure. She already is one of my favorites, and I've only seen her twice, as I've said. But we'll see what happens at Money in the Bank. My money's on Lacey. Spoiler. I'll give you guys that one.
You already know who my pick for this one is.
Yeah.
It's going to be Lacey Evans. Like I said, since I seen her participate in the Royal Rumble, the first few seconds she caught my eye, and I was like, she's going to be someone big.
Yeah.
And if not, you could go back and review that Royal Rumble podcast.
Yep, you'll see it. It's the very first podcast of 2019, I believe. Go check it out. Alright, moving on to Ricochet versus Robert Roode, also known as Bobby Roode. I am extremely confused as to why Bobby Roode is now Robert Roode.
Yeah, me too. They didn't explain exactly why he changed his name. And then what's up with this new look with that mustachio he has going on?
I got it. He's a heel.
Yep, he is a heel, but I mean, you know, that mustachio just kind of like, you know.
I don't know. See, here's the thing. I feel like lately, this is what I've noticed. Correct me if I'm wrong, but lately, if you go from being face to heel, there has to be a difference now. You have to be able to tell apart the heel persona from the face persona. And I feel like this is now his new way of representing himself as a heel. So now I feel Robert Roode is only going to be used whenever he decides to be a heel.
Yeah, and we'll see. And I gotta say, Robert Roode, very impressive. Showed a completely different face that we probably haven't seen. I didn't get to see him a lot in NXT, but I think if anything, if you guys compare him, he might be that Bobby Roode from NXT.
Yes. And Ricochet, finally a singles competitor. He is no longer partnered with Aleister Black. For those of you that don't know, very, very quickly, we're not a news channel. We've always told you guys that, but I feel like this is important. Aleister Black, Selena Vega, and Andrade got drafted back to SmackDown Live.
Yeah. Kind of some weird changes there, but again, you know, anything could happen when it's the shakeups.
Yep, and when it's WWE. The only reason I bring it up is because now he's a singles competitor, so now where does his career go from here? I know he was partnered with Aleister, they were doing great together. Yeah, maybe it didn't work as well as we could have all wanted it to work because they never really became champions. They were just kind of thrown together, but I feel like they had chemistry, and that's something that I'm gonna miss.
Yeah, it was kind of weird because if now the Viking Raiders moved up and they were the tag team champions, why not give it to Ricochet and Aleister when they were competing for the NXT tag titles? But again, it's just all matter of opinions, matter of
it's all extremely confusing right now because we're all still trying to adjust from the Superstar shakeup. We just got out of WrestleMania literally, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
So we're still trying to adjust, so as the year goes by, we'll really get it. Overall, I thought the match was okay. I feel like it could have been better from both sides, not just from Ricochet, but from Robert. I was about to say Bobby, but from Robert. But now, I'm invested in what Robert Roode is going to do now because I have to be able to tell a difference between Bobby and Robert.
He seems more focused, like I said. And he did state that Chad Gabriel was pretty much holding him back. Yes and no, because I think they did have a successful run as tag team. It's just that I think Robert would do better in singles competition.
Yeah, for sure. He had a great run with Chad Gable, as you said, but it's his time now. It's his time to shine. He hasn't gotten an opportunity at the championship. He hasn't become champion. I think he did. Maybe he held one of, it was either the Intercontinental or the U.S. But other than that, like, I don't remember him really having a relevant feud, really doing much since being called up to the main roster.
Yeah, and he was able to shut down Ricochet's speed and high flying ability, and I think that was very key. And like I said, it's just him being focused was pretty much the key on being aggressive.
Alright, let's move on to the main event, which was AJ Styles versus Baron Corbin. The winner of this match was going to go on to Money in the Bank to challenge the Universal Champion, Seth Rollins.
Yeah, AJ Styles was obviously, I believe, the favorite to win, but overall, you couldn't underestimate Corbin.
Exactly, you couldn't underestimate him, and even though AJ won, Baron Corbin gave him a fight.
He was very, very close. Very, very close of picking up the victory.
And again, this also comes from him being the ultimate opportunist. He's smart. He's a very, very smart competitor. He has improved tremendously, and he knows exactly what he's getting himself into.
He just waits for the opponent to make a mistake. And I feel it's very, very rare when AJ Styles makes a mistake, and AJ Styles was just able to capitalize. I think that's the experience. That was the difference in this match, no doubt about it. I think if it would have been somebody else, Baron Corbin would have been victorious.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you on that one. The experience definitely did play a huge factor in this match, and I feel like that's the reason why AJ Styles won.
Yeah, and then another thing too, Baron Corbin noticed that AJ Styles was kind of hurting a little bit, wasn't 100%, and he just immediately jumped on that.
Well, yeah, AJ Styles just, and nothing against Baron Corbin, but AJ Styles just got out of pretty much one of the biggest matches of his career. He was in a brutal fight against Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe. So going into this match, he definitely wasn't 100%, for sure. And Baron Corbin had the advantage. Yes, his match was still brutal, but he didn't take as much physical punishment as AJ Styles did. Alright. You have anything else you want to add?
No.
He does have something else he wants to add. He's forgetting about it. As we were watching Raw, he said, "Where's Elias?"
I know where Elias is.
Where?
He is on his way to SmackDown.
He definitely is on his way to SmackDown. Somebody finally tweeted him and told him that Elias is now on SmackDown Live.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen that tweet, I'll try to insert it here. If not, go over to WW Siblings on Twitter and you can see it. He was literally so confused as to why Elias hadn't showed up.
Yeah, because Elias usually shows up either in the middle of the show or towards the end of the show. And I was like, okay, Elias.
Top of the hour.
I'm pretty upset that he didn't show up. I thought he had gotten lost.
Yeah.
Because everybody wants to walk with Elias.
And he thought he was lost somewhere. But no, he's just kidding. He knew he was in SmackDown the whole time. It's just Armando is very silly sometimes. Anyways,
that's not true.
Anyways, that's all we have for you guys on this episode of Wrestling with Siblings. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Let everybody know to become a sibling today. Join the family. And for those of you that do not know what WWS stands for, Armando, what does WWS stand for?
Wrestling with Siblings. Thank you guys so much. See you next time.
Yep, we'll see you guys on a brand new episode of Wrestling with Siblings.